So like with your friends, like in the more like alt TikTok scene, what do you think about like we never get to ask anybody this, right? Because, it's not the group that we're normally around. What do you think of like the extreme masculinity of like the Bryce Halls and like the Sway being the dominant people on TikTok and in straight talk?
It's very unattractive to me. Like personally.
Just you, do you think, or like more of non-straight talk?
I mean, I feel like their TikTok followers are younger. Like, I feel like they attract a younger group of people, if that makes sense. I don't know who they attract, but I see, like, if I was like 12, maybe I would be like, oh yeah, this is hot.
Yeah.
But like seeing just the way that he acts, like there was a video of him and Austin McBroom on the boats, like just seeing the ego, I'm just like, oh. Like, it's a little bit embarrassing.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit cringy. Like, because like no one really acts like that.
Yeah.
But it's more so like what the persona they're putting online.
It's just like it's like it's not even it's not a persona at all though. Like we all know it's not a persona.
It's an exaggerated version of the true self, maybe.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem forced. It seems very natural.
Okay. Yeah. Like, cause I
feel like with a lot of views and money, it would do that to them though. Cause like, I mean, I feel like they were both a little egotistical.
True, but like,
yeah, but it's a different place. I mean, right? There's alt TikTok.
Like Chris and I could very easily have a conversation. Like we're from fucking Simi Valley which is the like the show with Cody Ko and those guys, and like you could very easily talk like that, and it's the perfect depiction of how Bryce Hall, how all those guys act.
Yeah, it really is. And it's surprising until you actually like meet him. And you're like, okay, I can see that now.
Yeah, it's totally there. It's like yo, what's up?
I'm chilling.
That would terrify me if like he approached me and said, yo, what's up? Like those specific words, I'd be like,
yo, what's up?
Yeah, like that, especially not even finishing the end of the words.
Saw.
Carrying up.
Yeah. What do you think that is? Like that disconnect between like, because it's like two very different types of people, and I think we observe it being more like podcasters and commentators, but in the social media space that exists with like all straight.
I would say the biggest difference between alt and straight TikTok, that's your question, correct?
Yeah.
Is I feel like straight TikTok is right-minded or close-minded people. Like alt TikTok, they are very accepting. They like if they're not part of the LGBTQ plus community, they're either allies or like they're not very religious. They're not forcing stuff like that. Like they're very free-minded people.
Okay,
I feel like they're accepting. That's the one difference I would say between straight TikTok and alt TikTok.
But wouldn't you say that they're accepting for everything except unacceptance?
Everything
like you know what I mean? Because so like what I'm saying is it's the thinking about pushing straightness on people or pushing religion on people. Wouldn't you say that like alt TikTok is accepting of everything except that, which kind of is the exact same, which kind of is the exact same thing as what like straight TikTok and pushing religion is. I'm not like on either side. I'm just saying like is the exact same thing, and it's like you can say, oh, I'm accepting of this thing, but I'm not accepting.
I feel like the difference is I get what you're saying by like alt TikTok is a little like I don't know the word to describe it, but they like don't accept people's like opinions. Like some people were raised to be religious and raised to think like that being gay is not good, and like that's bigotry. Like you can't blame them. They have to educate themselves in order to break out of that. But I feel like the difference is that alt TikTok is not like they're pressing the minority of stuff onto other people, where straight TikTok is pressing stuff that has been pressed on people for a very long time. Like alt TikTok has newer views.
Yeah, I'm not like arguing that. I was just curious to see what you would think because it really is. It's pretty much the same thing, just like looking at it at two different.
Yeah,
different sides.
For sure, I agree with that.
But it's also like they have different reactions in comment sections, the way they attack certain problems in the community.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that they're some people I think would jump to the conclusion that they're like leading cancel culture in like extreme ways.
Oh,
But-
100%. I agree with that.
And there's some problems with that, like cancel culture especially. But
Within the last year, it's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's.
But we say that, but then we also look at like straight TikTok too. They're canceling people left and right for stupid shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that any different? Or
I
maybe
find people on straight TikTok make a way quicker comeback. Like people
Okay.
on all TikTok who get canceled, they're letting down like their whole community. Where on straight TikTok, they're letting down a bit of their community, but it's something that people are gonna forget about the second that they start posting their
Yeah, it
straight
just blows
content.
over.
again.
right, James Charles, all these people.
Like I think of like Anna, who recently got canceled for all that stuff.
Anna Shimate.
Yeah, she I would consider as pretty straight TikTok.
Isn't she?
Well,
wait,
she-
isn't
I know-
But it's not about just being gay. It's like
No, it's
yeah,
like
it's your
I'm
content.
I'm
Yeah,
gay,
you're gay,
but
it's
I'm
your
not on
content.
I'm not on all TikTok.
Right.
I understand.
It's your content.
I understand.
And there's still some comments about it, but like 2 weeks later, and she's
she's back. Yeah,
Like you know what I mean?
She had another brand deal. Like
Yeah,
today, you know.
yeah, like
Yeah.
They always come back for the sex appeal. I feel like.
Well, no, dude, it's like the straight TikTok. It's like
That's
they,
exactly, yeah.
it's like when we talk about like people who got canceled for throwing parties like at Hyper Sway, they come back in about like 3 weeks, even though everyone seems to be upset. So who's like, what's the biggest like cancellation that you think has happened on all? Like there was the girl that said the N word, but she's always like
Hulu.
M Hulu who ran up to the mirror, right?
That girl, I would say, was one of the
Wait, who was
the
she again?
starts. She was a white person who was trying to be an activist for Black people.
Did she have the longer hair?
She had long hair, and she was voicing her opinion on how white people treat the Black community. And this was like right before the Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
And then videos got leaked of her like 4 years prior, singing a song or saying the N-word and all that stuff. Like somebody went out to find that, and then she got canceled because her whole community is like now like, holy crap, we've been like rooting for you and you just did that.
Yeah.
But that when she got canceled, like that it was messed up. Like the stuff that people were saying, like when she
Really?
came back to TikTok, she looked like a completely different person. Like you could tell she lost a lot of weight. Like they tore her down.
Well, I watched the video. Hers was bad. Just
Oh,
because
yeah,
she
it was
And then
bad,
she took
no.
Black Lives Matter out of her bio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think the comments were saying. Like, it was a horrible lapse of events. But I see it. But then is she more alt TikTok then?
Yeah, at the time.
Okay.
I don't think she's on TikTok anymore though.
Okay. And then her audience kind of. So you're saying in those examples, the audience is a lot less forgiving than straight talk.
Yeah, because her whole audience was people supporting that movement, and then
Yeah.
to have her do the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, I get that.
How do you guys feel about people picking up stuff from the past, like 7 years, 5 years into the past, and bringing it into relevancy now?
Shane Dawson, the cat.
Like, because there's certain events where it's like, okay, you can't like get past that one thing that happened because that kind of defines that person. Depends on like the severity of what happened.
I mean-
But I feel like certain things that people are getting canceled for now from back then, it's kind of a reach, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like the way I see it is like in middle school. I don't know if this is if anybody else feels like this, but in middle school, I literally can't remember my middle school teachers' names. Like I don't even, like it just feels like one big like 3 year like dream.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because it just like is, like what even happens. Like if a video were to like come out of middle school of like something that like theoretically happened, it's like how do you even? You're such a different person. I don't even know. That was 7 or 8 years ago.
Exactly.
It's crazy how how long ago it was.
Yeah.
But the fact that that could still come out and cancel someone today when you might not even like.
And people change. People
so
change.
much change. So I don't know.
Like,
It's difficult, but I mean, then
No.
there's stuff that like is really just not okay. That
When I started like gaining a following on social media, just because I grew up in a town where we had like 3 people of color at our school, and
In
like the N-word
Canada?
was being I'm from Ottawa, Canada. I lived in a little town called Sittsville, and I didn't even know what that word meant. I didn't know any of the meaning behind it. And I look back and I'm like, there was literally an occasion on Halloween, and this was when I was in grade 10, so we're like 15 years old. And this guy dressed up as a Jew hater for Halloween, and people thought it was hilarious. Like
15, damn.
yeah.
What the hell?
That's
And
the
then-
most like straight
How
up.
do you-
What
most
what like what
evidently
parents are you
not
ra-
okay thing to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it kind of like blew up at our school. Like people were posting it on the lockers, and like he got suspended.
Okay.
He did get
People were upset about
backlash.
it.
But when around that time, I had met one of my best friends. His name's Joseph, and he literally taught me everything. Like without him, I would probably still be in that small town not knowing anything about social injustice. Like nothing about, like I didn't even know I was gay. When I was in high school, I thought that being gay was bad and that, you know, I could watch, you know, the lesbian porn on my own time, but I don't need to share that with anybody. And that's super personal to me. And like, it is bad. But he really like took my view and changed that completely. So I went through my social media when I started gaining followers and I was like, if there is literally remotely anything, like I don't want anything being traced back to me because that is not the person that I am at all now.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect example of how stuff can be complete, and it's just it can be completely taken out of any type of context of, you know, of literally anything. So yeah, I think that that's a really good example.
How do you realize that you're in that situation where you're like sheltered, like where you're too sheltered from like what's like? How do you don't? Because people say like, oh, when people apologize for like saying the N-word, for example, like they're like, oh, I grew up in such a small town, I didn't know what it meant, and I know that, but I don't know what that means because it's like, how is that technically possible? Right, but obviously, like you know how that's the case.
I went to in my elementary school. There were no people of color, not a single one.
Just a ton of white people.
It was just white people. And in my high school, in my graduating class, there was one person of color in my graduating class.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
like it was, and it wasn't really like my parents were kind of helicopter parents, so it was like didn't see much of it on TV. Like we didn't travel much. Like we never went anywhere outside of North America.
Really?
We went to like New Hampshire.
That's
Like,
lit.
like,
Yeah, it's just
like I seriously just did not experience it.